so many factors within motorsport which can affect different things, you know, different tracks, wrong set of tyres, wrong pressure, mechanic doesn't do something correctly. There's so many different variables, so it can be tough and anything can happen. I'm James Wallace. I'm an 18-year-old British racing driver from the UK. I'm currently the Porsche GB Junior driver. Got selected for in November. I think it's just a sport which is super addictive. It comes with a lot of adrenaline and you just have to keep on pushing, and the fact that there's no kind of perfect lap makes you want to push even more. It's kind of a bit of a motivator.
We've been racing various cars for a number of years. Obviously we've moved from junior racing, where it was really just James and myself supporting a car and trailing around, to the latest position he's in, where he's driving in Carrera Cup this year. Originally he was 8 years old when he first started. We went to a drag race and he fell in love with a Junior NASCAR, and we bought one and went racing with it, and on short ovals. Then progressed to mini stocks and autographs before finally going on to racetracks when he was 14.
I've kind of been doing racing in the background as a hobby for a long time. Quite a time-consuming sport. It takes up a lot of time, travelling to track, testing. In fact, you've got to go to a specific place to do your work. You can do as much as you want on the sim at home, but even still it's very different to being out on a track. So in 2023 we decided to venture into the GT3 category. We initially started off in GT Cup, GT3, just to try and find our feet, and we kind of used it as testing. And that was in the Mercedes GT3, powered by DriveTach, which was our main sponsor that year. We did a bit of British GT, which is kind of the highly competitive GT3 series of the UK. I think as a season we were pretty strong. We were quite a strong Silver Ram lineup, and I learnt lots. After that, we kind of put my name into the hat of the Porsche Junior Shootout. No real expectations. I mean, we put in a fairly strong CV, and then it went from 90 entrants down to 12, which we got selected for, which I was kind of a bit shocked, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll give this a go then. So top 12 get an interview at Silverstone at the Porsche Motorsport, and then from that 12 we got selected for the final 4. Obviously, you're against 3 other very competitive drivers who have also done a lot of prior racing to the shootout. So you kind of have no choice but to test if you want to kind of perform on the shootout. Everyone else does a test day. So we went and did a test in Wales at Pembrey with Team Parker in their Porsche Cup car. We got on with it pretty well. It was quite a transition for me, learning from a car with no ABS and traction control. Just a different discipline for myself to learn. On the first day at Pembrey, I don't think we ended up getting out until 2 o'clock. Especially with winter hours, they kind of shut the track at 4:30. So I only really had 2.5 hours. It was super wet. Then second day, we're kind of praying for a dry morning. Well, dry/damp, no standing water. And yeah, that's what we got. From there, we were pretty prepared for the shootout. As the tests we did were very wet, and my shootout was also very wet. So once you win the shootout, you get given a car for the 2 years, a brand new car. Obviously I've chosen my team, we went with JTR, Nick Tandy. And then, so the new car arrived, we went straight to Donington maybe a week later or so. And yeah, to be fair, it wasn't the most productive day I've ever had. Lots of red flags, and where these Cup cars are kind of the fastest GT car in the UK, it's hard to actually kind of get some clean running with the slower cars, you just keep on catching them. We actually had a slight mishap where the cables that connect to the main battery disconnected, just a loose connection. And yeah, we went straight into the gravel at Old Hairpin, not the nicest corner for it to happen. Lost power steering and literally everything. The car was fine, but for a new car it wasn't too ideal to go straight through the gravel. But no, I mean, it was a good day to just kind of build on what we had learned previously, and it's kind of my first proper test with JTR, my team, which I'll be running with this year. So no, it's important for me to get out, and I mean, it's still a semi-productive day in the afternoon once all the other cars had crashed off in the morning. Before pre-scholarship, we decided to go and do a test day at Silverstone. Just wanted to gain some knowledge of the car, first time driving without traction control or ABS. So it was a fairly kind of big contrast to what I was doing before.
Unfortunately, no dry running at all. So James was very comfortable in the wet and was just hoping that, you know, that would fall in his favour when it came to Silverstone.
Yeah, I mean, we actually proved pretty quick in the car. I mean, we're about a second off the first time in the wet, but Silverstone's a long lap. It's like a 2:15 lap.
The team did a great job with the car, and we got some good running in the wet.
So I mean, I was taking it for my first time in the car, and yeah, lots of progression was made, and it couldn't really set me up for the scholarship much better, I don't think. In 2024, we went to Silverstone for a test. It was one of those tests where it was very, very wet. I mean, we chanced our arm and went out. I went out the pit lane. My team kind of just said, let's try and go out, let's see what the track's like, and I was like, yeah, okay, fine. Out the pit lane, on wet tyres, just thin sheets of water. Silverstone's not the best for the drainage either. Going through Maggots and Becketts, then came on to just this part before the straight. Behind the GT3, try and just get some clean tracks. Couldn't really see much. There's just a kind of a thin sheet of water across the track, and then all of a sudden, I came onto the straight. Yeah, I caught a puddle. Yeah, it definitely kind of shook me up a bit because it was only my second day in the brand new car. Wasn't a pleasant moment for myself to kind of experience that early on either. Yeah, I was just kind of a passenger at the time. Luckily, didn't quite manage to make it to the wall, but I mean, we kind of recomposed, reassessed our decision to go out, and then eventually the track kind of cleared up a little bit, and yeah, we went out. Put in some good lap times, so it was actually still a productive day. It's just a shame that early on we made that kind of, which could have been a costly mistake, but I guess it was kind of an uncertainty which, I mean, I couldn't really predict. There was no chance I was kind of going to save that car at that moment. Yeah, so we went to Brands for a test day. It was one of the, I think it was like the second dry day we actually did. It was still fairly new to me in the dry, so and yeah, we kind of found our feet. That was also one of the first days where I had some teammates there, so I could learn off them. We put in some fairly competitive times. It was a pretty strong day. I think we were kind of like the quickest Cup car. There was still time to find, but overall I was pretty happy with how the day went. Into Paddock Hill, we pushed the limit maybe a bit too much, and we blocked the rear left, I believe, as we were just coming down on old tyres. And yeah, I mean, it's a fast corner. I tried to save it a bit, and yeah, we kind of beached in the gravel and I couldn't move. It's frustrating, really. After the spin, the mechanics worked well to clear the gravel out of everything and replace the front splitter. We got back out, car was running fine, and now the boys are in preparation for prepping the car for the media day. Well, we lost, I think, maybe a session and a half of valuable time, really, in cup racing where it's so tight. Each kind of lap makes a difference. I mean, there's a shame on that front. If you don't make mistakes, you're not really pushing the limit of your ability and the car's ability. But at the end of the day, at least I found the limit and I learned from a mistake, and we go forward and faster, hopefully. We had one final test at Brands. These are kind of the last couple of days before the real thing. Obviously, tension's starting to rise a bit more with the season only being 30 days away from now. So we need to make sure we kind of maximise every last second we have on track to just fine-tune everything out, just so when we go into round one we can hit the ground running hard. Yeah, media day went well. Hopefully we can kind of continue this momentum to round one. It's a nice place to be, with myself being confident going into round one. We can kind of be at the sharp end and hopefully kind of search for some silverware. We've done all the preparation we can for this season. We've learned a lot through this winter. Been a good solid test program. So I think if we can put it all together, we should be at the top end for sure. So can't wait for it really. So.
The new Porsche Junior is James Wallace. He drives the JTR.
Porsche Carrera Cup GB entering its 22nd season, and the opening round of their championship will join commentators Tim Harvey and David Ellis.
Just the one race then at Donington this weekend now for Porsche Carrera Cup GB, but it's going to be a fascinating race nonetheless. 24 laps or 30 minutes depending on which comes first, with lots of new names coming into the championship, and therefore those with a bit of experience taking on those newcomers will be a really interesting fight. The new Porsche Junior is James Wallace. He drives the JTR. He's alongside on the next row of the grid, Angus Whiteside. The opening round of Porsche Carrera Cup GB is set to get underway on an ever-drying Donington Park National Circuit. Matt Rees, Sid Smith the front row, Will Martin, Hugo Ellis on row 2. Drivers look to the lights, which are red. Engine notes rising. He's blast off, and a good start by Rees, but a better start arguably by Smith. Stephen Jelly of the blue nose car gets up the inside. There's a bit of crowding going on there as Will Martin gets edged towards the green bit. Down they come towards Redgate. Sid Smith on the outside line tries to go for position. Through Motorsport car on the inside, but the door is open, and a really good dive by Will Martin. Does contact sideways is Smith. Is he going to hang on to it? He's not. Can they all avoid him? He's in the middle of the road. Cars are scattered left and they've scattered right. And amazingly enough, everybody has got around So 7 minutes and counting as they blast over the line. Will Martin will lead the way, and has Malin got a problem because now James Wallace comes up to have a go and there's nothing Malin can do to stop him.
Yeah, Malin slipping back, something not quite right with his car on this restart, is there?
Wallace back ahead of Malin. Wallace with the tail wagging is in danger of losing out. Josh Malin tries to go around the outside, can't do it, slots back in behind. He's getting away all the time, isn't he? As there, but James Wallace has to really work now to try to hang on to position. Will Martin could be on for an 8th win in Carrera Cup as he comes onto the top of the Crater curve. While they squabble, they're being caught by James Wallace in 5th place. He's getting nearer and nearer as they come through. They've still got 2 more laps to go in, and they've got the impressive newcomer James Wallace right up behind them as well. And Wallace in turn is bringing Josh Malin.
Wallace has run wide, and Rackshaw gets bumped back up the inside of him.
James Wallace will go a little bit wide coming out of Coppice, gets up alongside. Angus Whiteside is still keeping Charles Rainford at bay. Charles Rainford 4th, Andrew Rackshaw 5th ahead of Malin. Wallace drops to 7th.